Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alyssa, and on this channel I create budgeting content, planning content, and side hustle content. If any of that sounds interesting to you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and follow along on my journey to paying off over, an astronomical amount of student loan debt. So on this video, we will be closing out the first half of May, so the 1st through the 14th. Of the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. I am almost at my 3-year mark of doing the Budget Mom workbook, and it's literally changed my entire life. I'm not even just saying that as like a, oh, like my whole life has changed because of this, blah, 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 sort of thing. It's like, no, I'm really saying that because it's true. I'm gonna adjust this really fast. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I'm really excited for this video and just closing it out. And then on the next video, we'll be setting up the second half of May budget. So what we're gonna do here is first, let's make sure the book is even because I failed to do that. So we're gonna do a complete step-by-step. I know this is the part where I struggled the most with. If you are like, okay, Alyssa, we don't really need to see this. I know how to close out my expenses. Okay, that's fine. Just like skip to like the middle part of it. If I remember, I'll timestamp it below so you can just like skip to that part. But for those of us who do struggle, because I always did, closing out like the month or the weeks can be really difficult. So I have my budget category breakdown here, which I use the highlighter method, which she suggests using. So we're basically gonna go through and highlight everything according to the color that was, I guess associated with the budget category. For example, pink is grocery. So we need to go through and highlight all of the grocery items. Sometimes I do forget one or two, but you typically see it at the end when you're like, okay, well, I have one left that's not highlighted. And then after we highlight everything, we will go through and add up all of the expenses. So I guess while I'm doing this, we can just sort of chit chat. How has everyone been? How is your month going of May? How is your year going? Is everyone meeting their goals? What are your goals right now? I think for me, like, I can't believe it's the middle of May. Where has the year gone already? 2024, geez Louise. It's just flying by. I've been just trying to live life a little bit more, have a little bit more fun. I feel like for so many years, I was just, and it's not a bad thing, right? Like for so many years, I was just so focused on finances, and don't get me wrong, I still 100% am. I think it's just a little bit more different now of like, okay, I feel very secure in my job, with my finances, the amount of money I save every month, and I'm trying to look at things more as a life of abundance versus scarcity. And so I don't know if you guys follow or have watched that show on Netflix, I Will Teach You to Get Rich by Rami Sazi, I think is how you say his last name. He also has a YouTube channel, and I like binge all of his YouTube videos. He does like podcasts. He has a lot of couples that come on and they just go over their finances. And I think it's kind of helping me reshape the way I look at money as a sense of not scarcity, but of abundance is what I'm trying to say. And so like looking at, I've changed a couple of the way I do things now, and we'll talk about it, and I might repeat it again in the when we close out the actual budget here after the highlighter things. But if you guys remember, like many videos ago, it was really like last year I stopped doing it, but I was using the Acorns account, which was great. I still highly recommend it, especially if you're having trouble saving money and you feel like it's just hard to save even $6 a week or a month. Like the Acorns app is so helpful because it does do like roundups for you within your checking account or whatever account you use. And I still will stand by that app. I thought it was amazing. I used it for so many years, like 3 or 4 years, and I ended up being able to save $6,000. So it was really, really helpful. I have since cashed that all out and put it towards my house sinking fund. But you know, that sort of thing where it was like $20 every week. And then same with my Merrill, like Roth investments, I was doing like $15 or $20 every week. And instead I just decided, hey, I know exactly how many Mondays or Wednesdays or whichever I was doing happens throughout the pay period. And I'm just going to do that up front. We're going to make the transfers like I make all my other transfers for rent, utilities, sinking funds, car insurance. And then if there's anything left at the end of the month, then I can dedicate, you know, where I want. But then I don't feel this like pressure to have like money, not money in my account, that would be the wrong word, but the pressure that like, oh my gosh, do I have enough money? Like how many more Mondays are there left in the month? Like how many more like transactions are going to happen? Like, has this hit my account yet? Yes or no? Like sometimes it would be like if the pay period fell on a Monday and, or like the start of it or the end of it, and my transaction was happening on a Monday, sometimes it doesn't post until like Tuesday, Wednesday. And I didn't like that. Like it would just take a long time. It's like, I want to be able to like have my checking account back at zero. Like I want to be able to make these other transactions and know exactly how much is in my account. And so I just decided like, hey, when I set up my budgets, I'm just going to make the transfers. Like, and I've done it, I think, well, I've already set up, well, not really set up my next May, but this May budget, I did do that. And I really like it. I think it was the right call for me. Because then once I make all of this transfers, like, hey, I'm putting money towards my savings, I'm putting money towards, you know, my rent, my utilities, like all of the needs are accounted for. And the rest of the money that's left over is like my fun money or my miscellaneous money, but it's also the money for like groceries too. So I have to be conscious of that. I can't just go out and spend it all on a concert ticket or something. I have to be very conscious, but I hope this is making sense. Basically, long story short, which it wasn't really a short story, I guess to summarize, I should say, is instead of having transactions weekly for things that I was doing like every Monday or every Wednesday, I'm just taking whatever amount that total would have been and transferring it at the beginning of the pay period when I set up my budget. And it's been really helpful, I think, just mentally for me to make that change. So I don't know if you guys do stuff like that, but I've really been enjoying the kind of changing of my thought process on things and just making sure that I feel comfortable with what we're doing, with what I'm doing. It's my budget. There's no one telling me what to do about anything. I realized I didn't do all of this. So we'll do this as we go down the calculation route. But okay, thank you for listening to my story and my updates. So I've got everything highlighted, and now we're going to go through and calculate it all. I don't know if you can see the calculator. Let's put it right here. So groceries, find the pinks, 30.74 plus 74.01. We only had two, so 104.75. Eating out, I think I've been a little bit ridiculous these days with eating out, 4.95. It's like a lot of like smaller transactions. 7.51. Yep, plus 40.96 plus 11.11 plus 20.65 plus 20, 110, 0.12. Hopefully I'm not missing any. I'm kind of going fast here. Gas and car was just the one, so 26.98. Debt, we had a lot of debt, so 550. Well, I should say a lot of debt payments. 550 plus 522 plus 214 plus 100 plus 1322 plus, hey, that's it. Wow, that's a huge number, $2,708. It looks like I put a majority of that towards my student loan. I guess my student loans, I should say, because it is quite a lot. Which, you know what really sucks is that like doesn't even really make a dent. Like it does, but it doesn't. A lot of it just is going towards the like interest, and I've been keeping up on the interest. Like the interest is not like, I guess, accruing more and more like it does every month, obviously, because it's such a high amount. But it's like, if there was just no interest, wow, I could really make a headway. Don't get me started on student loans because we could talk about it forever and how predatory student loans are. But again, I mean, I understand the argument. I took out the student loans, but you know, I was 18. You don't really understand the severity of the loans you're taking out when you're 18. Yes, you're an adult, but there's really not a lot of resources available to like high school students to really understand. And when you're like thinking about the world, you're not thinking about like the monthly payment and how that will really affect you. You're like, oh, $1,000 a month, that's no problem. But when you really like, now as being an adult and you're really like, I'm in the thick of it, it's a lot of money every month. Like $1,000, what I think I'd pay a total of, if I just paid the minimum payment, I think it's $1,086, which is psychotic. I mean, not really, but that was the wrong word. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Okay, we're moving on to investments. 450 plus 15 plus 154.70. So 61970. Okay, 65 plus 350. We're on to savings. I think that was it. 415. Yeah, 415. Rent and utilities, 430 plus 125. 555. We love that. 5 is my favorite number, so I love seeing that. Fun and entertainment. We just had the one, so $50. Holiday, I think we just had this holiday, so 3743. Self-care, 93 plus 50 plus 25. That's it. Okay, 168. Miscellaneous, 20 plus 14.42 plus 14.81. 50.21. And then insurance, 21.42 plus 46.67 is 68.09. And I did have some travel, so I think it's just the 11.23 plus 8.34. Yeah, okay, hold on. Equals, oh, I did that wrong. 11.23 plus 8.34 equals 19.57. Doesn't look like we had anything for pets or business or medical, but clothes we had 20.50. Yeah, I don't have a little in slot for that on the actual budget, but that's okay. So now we're gonna go to the setup here. The actual setup, I should say. I'm gonna leave that like that. Okay, so we're gonna start with the income. Make sure you guys can see this. Okay, so W-2 was 3,281 and side hustles was 350, so that's perfect. I did receive, if you remember from the setup video, $1,306 in commission. So my normal like bi-weekly paycheck or twice monthly paycheck, bi-monthly paycheck is $1,975. And then we had $350 on side hustles. And then savings, I guess I should put this like this so I can flip back and forth easily, is how much of savings did we bring in? So this is the savings right here. So we brought in 868 plus 454 equals 1322. So 1,332. So if we add that up, it is 3,281 plus 350 plus 1,332 is $4,963. Now, if we go over to the fixed expenses here, we had rent and utilities was $430 and $125. So $430 and $125. I already know car insurance was this. Life insurance was that, $47 for pet insurance. And then we had boxing gym was $93. It's actually supposed to be like $55 now, but I forgot that it's different. Student loan, I have it in two separate spots here. So we're gonna do the $550 for right now because that is my fixed expense to be able to meet the minimum payment every month. And then the extra debt is just over here. Did we have multiple? No, just one. Okay, 25 for therapy. And then Roth. I guess this really shouldn't be a fixed expense because I don't have to contribute to my Roth account, but I do. And because I got commission, I'm putting more. I'm really trying to hit that 7,000 this year. So we did put 450 towards Roth. We actually put more. And I'm going to put the extra savings. This is going to be here for it. Because we did put the 450, which was what we had anticipated putting. Stocks, I did not put anything towards my stocks account. And my tickets were only $50. I thought it was going to be $100, but they only charged my account $50. So I'm not really sure what was going on with that. All right, so let's add up the fixed expenses here. We've got 430 plus 125 plus 65 plus 22 plus 47 plus 93 plus 550 plus 25 plus 450 plus 50 equals, oh, it's so high, 1,857. And then we take the 4963 minus 1,857 gives us $3,106. Now this is where the calculations come in very handy. So grocery, we had budgeted 120 but spent, we'll call it 105. 105. We should have grabbed the eating out. So eating out was 110. Okay, that's okay. And then gas and car was 27. So 110 and 27. Extra investments, I don't think so. I think we had 450. We did this. This is just the extra that we'll put in at the very end. So yeah, there was no extra investments here. Fun and entertainment. I don't think any of these are fun and entertainment necessarily, but we did spend $50. Oh, that was on the UW tickets. So let's just keep it like there. So I guess fun and entertainment was 0. Holiday, we did spend $37. 37. Self-care, in addition to the boxing gym and therapy, I spent $50 on my nails. Miscellaneous was $50. So we were a bit over on that. Travel and vacay, we spent, we'll call it $20. 20. And the one thing we do have to account for is the clothes. So how much did we spend on clothes? Spent $21. I'm just gonna add it to the miscellaneous because I don't have another section for it. So 50 plus 21 is 71. I just don't want to forget about it. So write added to miscellaneous on the tracker. And then, yeah, we'll just do 50 plus 21. Okay. And then pets, we didn't spend anything extra on pets, so that's 0. So adding that all up here, we had 105 plus 110 plus 27 plus 37 plus 50 plus 71 plus 20 is 420. So we did good overall in terms of variable expenses. I didn't spend that much compared to what I had budgeted for. So taking the 3,106 minus 420 left us with 2,686. So 2,008. Whoops, did I write that right? Okay, 2,686, and I did put 350 towards my sinking fund. So we're just gonna write. Normally I do write this all in once I make the transfer, but I guess I forgot. 25, and these are all buckets like within my high yield savings account. So we take the 2,686 minus 350 gives us with 2,336. 2,336. And then we did put an extra 522 towards my student loans. let's add up the other debt. Okay, debt, we have these accounted for. Alaska Airlines credit card, so 214 plus Discover will come back. Alaska 1322. Okay, so 1536, $1,536. And then my Discover card was 100. So we did put 100 towards that. Okay, let me add up these numbers here to make sure they all match. So the debt we had over here was student loan, 550 plus 1536 plus 100 plus 522, 27, perfect, 2708 is what we matched at. All right, and I'm just gonna subtract the 550. So it was 2,158. And we had 2,336 minus 2,158 is 178 left over. Now, when basically the closeout of this budget came and I was about to get paid, I was like, where do I want to put the extra $154 I had left over? And I decided I was going to put that to my number one priority goal right now, which is to max out my Roth for this year. So I did pretty darn good for the entire month, the 450 plus the 154 and 15. So 154.70 plus 15 gave us basically 170. So 170. So I guess in theory, I'm supposed to have $8 left over, but I don't know where that went. So I'm not going to go back and just like go through every single transaction to find those $8. At the end of the day, $8 is such a minuscule amount. I'm sure it was due to my rounding that I do, because I do a lot of rounding, especially on the variable expenses, because I just like the full numbers and it just helps me. But my account is at zero, basically at the end of this. So it is what it is. We're not going to dwell on it. Sometimes this works out perfectly, sometimes it doesn't. But as long as I'm not off by like what in my opinion would be a significant amount, which would be like $20 to $30 maybe. And even at that point, it's like, how much time and effort do I want to spend in trying to go find that $20 or $30? But I know for some of you, that's not like, that is a significant amount. So I'm not trying to diminish any of that. But for me, $8 is, I'm not going to go spend an hour trying to figure out where that money went, because it's just not worth my time at this point. So I really hope this video was helpful. I know it was a bit longer, so thank you for sticking around. I'm really trying to help everyone understand how to close out their budget, because it can be really overwhelming at times. And I did get a question I want to address really quickly, is how you account for like cash in and cash out. So I am completely cashless. If I have cash, I never account for it here, and I have like 20 bucks here and there for like maybe selling something, or I have like 60 bucks in cash, and then once my 20 in my wallet goes away, I just pull another 20. So I really don't account for stuff like that. However, when I do have an inflow of money from, like here I had an IRS refund, I had my Ally, which is my savings account, I brought money over. I always account that inflow of cash into my budget, and then somewhere it'll be like X flowing in a sense. So if you had like a cash sinking fund, say for car insurance for $500 and you need to pay it, you would deposit the $500 and you would write it as a deposit into your checking account, and then a $500, and then the next line would be like car insurance payment, $500 in the withdrawal. So for every inflow, you basically need an outflow in a sense. I mean, obviously I'm not inflowing each one of these number items, but if you have cash, you are, I guess the theory, and you can obviously do it however you want, but you are supposed to be tracking the items. Like if there's inflow of money, you're writing that as a deposit, and then there's an X flow, even if it's for the same amount, so you can just keep track of what those expenses were. I hope that makes sense, but I appreciate all of you for watching this video. Thanks for sticking around. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to leave me a comment below and let me know how you are doing with your goals, life, May 2024, all of that in general. But I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye, everyone.